Steve Jobs' basics. Among other things, Steve Jobs was also known for his super-individualistic style, anti-political stand. While being mostly a libertarian at heart, he would take any opportunity to discredit any and all economic doctrines whenever possible if it did not conform to his unique thought processes. This of course either rightly or wrongly perceived him to be constantly against a society where conformist behavior patterns are the order of the day. Adopting the styles where interaction and sharing of ideas was the basics of the work teams, Steve Jobs often encouraged a varied group of individuals of all levels within the organization to talk, discuss, and argue about ideas being tabled. In this way he would then be able to gauge the sentiments and acceptability of anything being designed or to be launched. Have passion. In order to be successful at anything, one must have the ingredient of passion in the mix. Without this very vital ingredient, many projects or endeavors have run aground at the very first hint of trouble. However, for some this passion may seem apparent and even evident, but it should not, as is often done, be mistaken for enthusiasm. Learn to communicate. Communication is an effective and necessary tool to employ when trying to carry out any endeavor or project successfully. However, the effectiveness of the communication plays a very important role towards the smoothness and achievable standards of any endeavor. The importance of effective communication should never be underestimated, not disregarded, if complete success is to be achieved. Learn to relate. Getting people comfortable is another important element that should be practiced if one intends to get the best results out of anyone. When an individual is comfortable and confident, then the likelihood of that individual breaking all records in the quest to do and produce the best is very definite. Being able to relate to anyone at any time is perhaps a virtue that should be learnt and practiced as often as possible. Build a community. Very rarely can one find a project or endeavor that requires only the contribution of one individual, and even if such an endeavor is found, then there will always be relatable elements that require the passive participation of other parties in some form or another. Therefore, it would be prudent to acknowledge very early on that more often than not, a group or community of people is required and even necessary to see anything to its success. Wrapping up. When there is a desired following, then there is also the possibility of a higher level of interest in the blog that would encourage others to want to be linked to your site or products. This also helps in terms of garnering revenue from various sources like links or advertisers being interested in being featured on the said site or product. Thus, the emphasis cannot be clearer on the need to incorporate all previously explored avenues into making a successful business.